Episode 5, The Goddess's Kiss. Two pairs of eyes were staring at me, waiting for my answer. I hesitated, only for a few moments. This seems to be my destiny. I do really want to join them, as they share my beliefs. However, I'm not blind. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Not everyone here is eager for the Basus to return to their native land. Not everyone is well disposed towards me. I do want to be part of the sect and the dozen, but as an equal, not as a puppet with Amrit pulling the strings. They know more than I do. The mole hinted at that. That's what gives them power over me. It's time for me to change that. I'll pretend that I don't suspect anything, but I won't agree right away. I'll make them work for it. Amala, please, hurry. Make up your mind. We are wasting time. I'm interested in your offer, but I have one condition. Are you trying to haggle, darling? I'm only trying to balance the scales. So far, you've been toying with me like cats with mice. For example, you intimidated everyone I questioned at the hotel. Who told you that? I won't say a word about Madhu, or she'll get in trouble. I just figured it out. They were trembling in fear. It was clear that they were scared of Rattan. It's true that we're ready to go to great lengths for the sake of our goal, but if you knew all along, why are you only reproaching me now? Because she's a smart woman and, most importantly, calculating. She knows when to show her hand to gain the most advantage. Is that admiration I hear in your voice? Absolutely. If you ignore the rules, you're more likely to win the game. Anyway. Who's in charge here? Amrit or Rattan? Who should I focus on? This deal should be mutually beneficial. I agree if you accept my terms. Amrit, I agree if you promise to help me, Rattan. This deal should be mutually beneficial for all parties. Don't you think? You want something from me, I want something in return. Why would I care about your sect? It's nothing but trouble. But if I get something out of it, I'd surely participate more enthusiastically. What do you want? Your help. Whenever I need it, whatever it might be, money, connections, protection, I want you to take my side when I ask you to. You've chosen for the deal to be beneficial. You can now count on Dozen's help. This will affect the plot. Your request is granted. Anyone who belongs to the sect and the Dozen receives my assistance. Provided their ideas and requests are not too outrageous, of course. Since now I answered your question, I want to know more about this connection, Amrit. Dubé sank down on the sofa, crossing his legs. Rattan stood behind him. My father and your grandmother agreed to this union between our bloodlines. My joining the two influential families, they wanted to obtain unrivaled power. They wanted to fulfill our destiny without conflicts. Not in competition, but always supporting each other instead. They didn't just decide to bring together any two hairs. We're talking about me and you, right? Yes. In 1951, when I was born, I became immediately clear who would lead the family in the future. But I wasn't born until 4 years later, and in another country, the United Kingdoms. Everyone already knew that Jyotsna was going to have a girl. Basus never have firstborn sons. Besides the Dubé's family, Brahm predicted your birth. And how were we bound? That I don't know. My father mentioned some rituals, but he didn't elaborate. I looked at Amrit, doubtful. It's hard to believe. Well, you won't get any more information out of me. It was some kind of ritual, thanks to which we can feel each other and become stronger together. Stronger together? Yes, together we can reach our zenith. Left us as kept some information from his dear son. If this is true, he must have had a good reason for it. So Devdus doesn't really trust you. I thought you were so close since you're his heir and all that. That ceremony has nothing to do with my duties as a priest, and it's not as simple as you think. Things are more complicated in our family. Or maybe they just don't tell you anything. I know what you're doing. You're trying to rile me up, hoping I'll let something slip. But the truth is my father and Indra were close. Their deals and decisions are none of my business. Devdus and Indra were close. Was there more than a working relationship between them? You've learned an important detail. You'll have to look into it. This is one of the main reasons why you were so needed. It wasn't because of the marriage, but rather for the union. Amrit suddenly interrupted Rattan. No, it was the marriage, and about the baby we'll be expecting. The baby doesn't matter anymore. What the hell are you talking about? What baby? Well, what did you expect? How else would families be reunited? Ask if you have any more questions. This is the time to speak up. So, we're connected both spiritually and physically. You asked for fiancé to be brought to India. Is this marriage a convenient? I feel like the middle one's important. You weren't just looking for the last Basu, you were also looking for a future wife. Yes, knowing that you existed somewhere out there on the other side of the world, I couldn't wait to find you. Oh, and for how long have you been looking? For a very long time. I've been waiting for the one I was told about since I was young. I used to daydream about how you'd look, how you'd behave. I wanted to see the famous Basu traits that everyone had been talking about. I was looking forward to it. So, are we connected both spiritually and physically? Yes, and we have been connected since we were born. That's why I told you that any path will lead you to me. And you never thought about disagreeing with that. Why would I object to a bride I hadn't even seen yet? No, Amal, I never did. If there's a woman destined for me, what's the point of looking for someone else? So, is this a marriage a convenience, then? Is this all about influence and cooperation? I wouldn't say that. My family can count some of the highest-ranked priests and temple officials among them. My ancestors mentored many Rajas. Their insight and wisdom are passed on to every man in my family. And you, they say that the blood in your veins is that of Mahadevi Kali herself. What? It's just a legend. This was how they explained the fierce temper and the iron will of the Basu women. Allegedly, they carried within them a drop of Mahadevi's fire. A funny joke for some, a reason to be afraid for others. I returned to Rattan, as he must have known the truth, but he only replies with, "Those who hold the power need to stand by each other." And while doing so, they also improve each other's flaws and enhance their strengths, because it's not just a matter of influence. So, that's what this is all about. I knew it wasn't just the end or need to gather all the members of the dozen. You're right, it's not just that. Damn it. Amrit and I were born already destined for each other, and both he and Rattan kept quiet about it this whole time. You and I are finally together as the gods wanted. There shouldn't be any more obstacles now. I can't seem to be able to keep up with everything that's going on. I'm not rushing you, I'm savoring the time we are spending getting close to each other. If I were to get everything at once, I'd be bored quickly. So you have to become my husband? Yes, Finally, my future wife is no longer just someone I heard of. She's standing right in front of me. Future wife. I haven't agreed to anything just yet. But you will. You won't be able to turn your back on me. We were born for each other. Why would you want to look for someone else? To take you down a peg? Oh, you can try. But I'll still call you my bride. You better not. And who will stop me? I will. Do you have any doubts about that? He shrugged his shoulders nonchalantly, running the tip of his tongue over his split lip. All right. Once was enough for me. Everyone knows very well what happens when you get angry. As we were about to leave, Rattan restored my Mendy, giving me a reproachable look. His gaze made it clear that I shouldn't try to wipe it off again. Another day, another shocking discovery. Next I'll find out Karen isn't really my brother or something. Speaking of Karen, if Priyanka's also involved in the affairs of a dozen, she can spy on us on behalf of Amrit. None of my plans are going to work if they know about our every move. We've agreed on everything. Now can I ask your help? What kind of help? Deciding to take advantage of my new situation, I replied thoughtfully. Since I'm going to be staying here for a while, I wouldn't want to further inconvenience the Kahans. I'd like to move out, live alone with Kieran, but I don't know where to look for a home to rent. Amrit and Rattan exchanged glances as if understanding each other without the need to speak. Both of them immediately agreed. That's a good idea, Amala. My people will gather some options for you and help you move. At first I couldn't believe it. It was going to be that easy, but they both looked pleased. Yes, really. That'd be lovely. Then pack your bags. Don't take too long. It's time for you to try on your new role. Pleased about the idea of moving, I quickly went to Karen's room so we could leave together. Along the way, I replayed my mind the conversation I just had. A fated partner, a union, a baby. It's a normal thing for families to want heirs. But the context in which they mentioned the baby felt odd. Rattan insisted that it doesn't matter anymore. Amrit caught up with me in the corridor. Are you leaving without saying goodbye? How rude. I'm really confused after what I learned here today. I need time to think about it, and you're distracting me. A couple of minutes in my company shouldn't be that distracting. Without waiting for an answer, he pressed his hand against the wall right next to my face, catching me in his favorite trap. I tensed up and felt happy at the same time. Yes, when I found out the truth about our relationship, it felt like a betrayal, as if he had been laughing at me all along. But the confusion and anger inside me couldn't overshadow my feelings for him. I still wanted to be closer. I yearned for his touch. These conflicting emotions were clashing inside me, and I no longer knew what I really wanted. Despite all my fears, I'm still madly in love with him. That scares me. Yes, I'm in love. I can't help it. Of course he doesn't need to know, but I still can't trust him completely. He could sense my internal struggle. He realized that I wasn't flirting with him, but I was just confused. He pulled away a little, giving me a puzzled look. Is something bothering you? I blurted out my honest answer before I could even think about it. What else are you hiding from me? He frowned. What is this about? I want to know if there are other surprises waiting for me, if I can finally breathe. God. He rolled his eyes and straightened up, no longer in my way. He looked frustrated, as if I had ruined the mood with my question, but I stood still, looking at him questioningly from under my brows. Diamonds are getting exhausted. What else don't I know? When will I be able to fully trust you? That's enough. Emra took a step closer, forcing me back into the wall. The hallway was completely empty, so you didn't need to hold back. I don't appreciate your tone. You could have asked me calmly, and I would have answered. Instead, you went straight to accusations. His face was so close that I could see the heavy line between his furrowed brows. He looked annoyed, but the energy I could feel told a different story. He was hurt by my lack of trust. I rushed to calm things down and spoke more softly. I'm just sick and tired of being kept in the dark. If I'm really as important as you say, why are you keeping something else from me? You already know everything about you and me. I have nothing more to hide. Don't be so hard on me. I would have done anything to win you over to my side. So you're not hiding anything else from me? Only the sins of my family, but not my own. That doesn't tell me anything. And yet my conscience is clear, and I can't guarantee that someone else won't try to get you involved in their games. He put his fingers under my chin and lifted my face. I know you don't trust me because of what happened in the past, and I'll make it up to you. It just takes time. But Amala, don't do this anymore. Don't accuse me and don't raise your voice with me. Being disrespected annoys me greatly. He looked at me openly, but tenderly. But there was also something arrogant about it, a sense of superiority. I wanted to wipe that expression off his face. I slid my hand behind his neck, pulled him towards me, so he had to bend forward. And your attitude towards me annoys me greatly. If you keep taking so many liberties with me, I'll have to take serious measures. He smirked without moving an inch and staring right back into my eyes. Oh, and what are you planning to do, exactly? We stared at each other for a few moments. Neither of us wanted to be the first to look away. His arrogant expression made me feel a myriad of conflicting emotions, as unstable as a cocktail of explosives. But it's a shockwave. Could destroy everything on its path: common sense, pride, fear, caution. Everything that kept us from being together. Everything I wished I could forget about to allow myself to feel safe with him. This time was no exception. After just a few moments of internal struggle fighting against our irresistible attraction, what happened next was inevitable. Not giving a damn about anything, he yanked me closer and I reached for his lips. Our greedy, hot kiss made me go weak at my knees, forcing me to cling to a strong torso. All we could afford right then was just one single moment of dizzying passion before parting ways. His fingers shamelessly squeezed my hips, my breasts, my waist. My fingers presently threaded through his thick curly hair and my arms around his neck. We only had a few moments to let go of all self-control, and then we had to come to our senses and pull away from each other. He was breathing heavily, licked his lips. I could see from his face that he didn't expect his body to react so strongly, but it wasn't a feeling he was afraid of. On the contrary, it turned him on even more. It's a hell of a way to say goodbye, Amala. It's the damn connection. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. I'm really mad at you. It's a little too late to pretend to be prude. It was already too late the moment you started pressing your every curve against me. Don't be mad at me, my Maharani. If only you knew how much I've done for you. Giving me a knowing smile, he turned around and walked away. What the hell? A couple of days later, Emrith's people found several apartments for me to choose from. I broke the news to the Kahans. On the same day, I also took Kieran, and he was overjoyed. But why, Amala? Why go to all this trouble when you can keep living with us? It feels awful to suspect to you. suspect people who haven't done anything wrong yet, but Amrit has told me many times that I have no friends here. There's something strange going on with Karen. There's obviously something that doesn't, and the sector not telling me to hell with trust. We're grateful for your hospitality, but we have to go now. I'll be more comfortable feeling like I am on my own home, even if it's a rented apartment. Is this all about? Are you uncomfortable following our rules? Not at all. I just don't like that I have to keep them in mind in the first place. But I'm very grateful to you for taking me in. I mean it. What rules? ? Since you're sure about this, why don't you at least give me a spare key? What if there's an emergency? No. I can send our cook to you so that you don't have to worry about one more chore. She'll bring you delicious food. I was skeptical, but I looked at her trying not to show my emotions. She's definitely persistent. You gotta give her that. Kieran, who was standing next to me, slowly touched my finger. I took the hand. You're way too kind to us, but it's time for me to get back into cooking, or I'll forget how to. Or maybe I'll be the one finally learning. I've wanted to do that for a long time. It's a great excuse to get off my ass and... Oh, pardon me. I almost burst out laughing at Kieran's display of enthusiasm. He was clearly ready to say anything to get rid of Priyanka. A young man cooking. I will never be able to thank you enough for offering me a place to stay and for feeding me all this time. Your home has been a warm and cozy haven for me, thank you. Except for all the time the Bahoots came to see us, but anyway. Oh, and the sus stuff, but now it's better for you to just rest. I'll give you the keys if I need help, okay? As you wish. I heard Kieran breathe a sigh of relief. You just don't trust Priyanka because of what Kieran told you. You refuse to give her a spare key. Well, if you made up your mind and you're all packed up, we'll help you move. Thank you, but Amrit Dubé's people will be here soon. Is Amrit Dubé helping you? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even ask you about the reception when you came back in the morning. Did it go well? Did you find out everything? By everything, she clearly meant Kali Yuga and the existence of Caligore. I arched an eyebrow and answered curtly, yes. Did you agree with the young master? Did you like everything? Did he inform you of his intentions? Suddenly I found myself bombarded with questions I had absolutely no intention of answering. When you say liked everything, do you mean the murders in honor of a goddess, whatever, right? Goddess, whatever. You should fear her wrath. Kieran, please don't. This sounds so interesting coming from a Cheviot, Miss Kahan. At least you told me you follow Chauvinism. We must go now. We have a lot to do. But we'll get back to this later, right? I'm not so sure about that. I'm afraid I'm very busy. I'm sure you are too. The sect and the desert are so much trouble, right? Amala, you can find the time for everything if you really want to. And I don't want to. Just like you when you didn't answer my questions. Kieran clearly liked my reply, but Priyanka definitely didn't. Priyanka, remember the way you said goodbye. This will affect the plot. Well, I'm sorry. The plot was already affected, so I wanted to tell you. Kier, bring your things downstairs. I'm going to go change. I felt happy at the thought I would no longer have to obey someone else's house rules and force myself to smile when I just wanted to be angry. No more pretending to be friendly and happy instead of showing the real emotions raging inside of me. It wasn't until that moment that I realized how much I was used to the role of the head of the family. I fell into that role spontaneously as I handled the chores at home and the issues with the store all on my own. I had lost the habit of taking orders from others. No matter what anyone says, I've definitely inherited my grandmother's temper. Kieran might behave like a rebellious teenager at times, but he's still a gentle and sensitive person. On the contrary, I'm ready to go to great lengths to achieve what I want. With these thoughts, I began to change. Feminine set. Expensive and original. Casual. Listen, I spend enough diamonds as it is, so this is one time I think I'm gonna pass on diamond choice. I decided to style my hair so that it wouldn't be in my face. Imaginative hairstyle, thick ponytail, a bob. Listen, I'm gonna end up changing my hair back here in a second because I don't like these. This one's okay, but... Great. I just have to gather my toiletries. Hold on. I fixed my hair. While packing my things, I realized that I had never used the perfume that I had bought on my first days here. I was just too busy being swept away by everything happening around me. I think I bought this perfume set right after we found the first corpse in Calcutta. There are 3 bottles in the package. I'll probably only keep one and leave the other 2. I took the perfumes in my hands. So, we're literally and figuratively gonna pay for perfumes we already own, or I could do nothing. Alright, so fresh fragrance, essential fragrance, tart fragrance. We'll do fresh. Why not? It is a fresh start. So juicy and delicious. Just what you need for the Indian heat. You will wear the perfume you choose. When I was done packing, it was time to leave. Dubé's attendant was waiting for us outside. Priyanka and Arya clearly didn't want to stop saying goodbye. A single look from Shekhar, however, was enough to make them stop their small talk and hurry away. Get in, miss. I'm told that you already have the key, so I gather you've decided which home you wanted. Yes, I trusted Dubé and Vaish with this choice. I didn't want to delay moving by going around looking at apartments. I liked how differentially he spoke to me now. It was very different from the last time we met. It's because he got a whooping. After loading our things in the trunk, Shekhar opened the car door for Kieran. Get in, young master. We're ready to go. How often do you run errands for Mr. Dubé? I only serve him. You're the first one for whom he pulled me away from his own affairs. That's very flattering, and also it means that Shekhar must know a lot about his affairs. With these thoughts, I left the Kahan's house. They were okay people, just very secretive. We stopped in front of a nice-looking apartment building. The street seemed safe, beautiful, ornate fence surrounded the house. Shekhar took our things out to the car, and a moment later we went inside and walked upstairs. Rattan and Amrit had quickly decided on the building, making sure that it was located in a good neighborhood. But they gave me the choice between 2 apartments. One, I could afford it by myself. The other, I had to rely on the men's generosity. Choosing an apartment will affect your relationship points. Okay. I'm assuming this is our apartment that we can afford. And I'm assuming the other one's going to be a diamond choice. Ah, yes. Oh, a third choice. Ooh, I like the blue one, and I like the blue in this one. Okay, there's actually a 4th choice. Holy shit. There would be only a couple. I was wrong. Both men's choice, Rattan's choice, Amrit, my choice. It pales in comparison. Okay. Rattan or Amrit. So those are 32, and then both men's choice. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Kieran whistled in amazement once he entered the flat. Is this where we're going to live? Wow, Amala. Sounds like you were being away from our shop is doing wonders for its sales numbers. This house looks posh from one rich place to the other, huh? Did you choose it? Not really. It's Rattan who will pay the rent. Your relationship with Rattan has improved. He furnished the flat to his taste, especially for you. Oh no, I dig it because the nature and then also the blue. So, it's better than yellow. The green's okay. You should stop spraying around the shati energy of yours. Clearly it makes people go completely insane. You're silly. You better unpack. Lima and Killian are coming to visit soon. Wow. Haven't seen them two in a while. I was glad that Kieran was still able to joke around, considering everything he had learned the day before. He was holding up pretty well. I was very proud of him. Ooh, it looks even better at night. Okay, I accept this. Kieran settled down in the only bedroom, and I took the living room. Okay. It's weird, but alright. I felt safer that way. I felt terribly guilty about the stunt I had pulled at the Dubé's mansion, and when I decided to wipe away Rattan's medney. I guess I was too used to them watching my back and protecting me from real danger. I shouldn't have let my guard down. I shouldn't be arrogant, let alone rely entirely on someone else. This is not what my mother and grandmother taught me. Mom, should I discuss this with Kieran? I saw her with her throat slit. She's obviously dead. He already had multiple shocks as of late. A family, the sex, the gods. As if on cue, Kieran entered the room. It's a nice place, and you can walk around without anyone talking your ear off. Are you thinking of Miss Cajon? Yes, and I'm so tired of feeling like I'd been suddenly adopted. At that moment, I decided to tell him. He must understand what we're dealing with, and why this is so important to me. Someone killed our mother here. We both have to keep our eyes open. He's 14. He asked to be treated as an adult. I'll show him what it's like to deal with an adult responsibilities, how it feels when shitty news doesn't wait for the right moment, but barges into your life uninvited. I cleared my throat, spat at the spot next to me on the sofa. Sit down. We need to talk. Kieran didn't ask any questions, and did as he was told. I hadn't been very talkative in the past couple of days, and he decided not to push his luck. What is it? It doesn't matter, though. I'm already nervous. You and I were discussing our visions, remember? Most recent events that prove that this is not just nonsense. I described to him how I saw our mother in the mirror, how she was bleeding, crying, apologizing, and warning us. He listened in silence, frowning occasionally. Not a single emotion flashed across his face. So I think she's probably dead. Kieran found out your mother's fate. This will affect the plot. Here? What? Here in Calcutta. Do you think she died here? I was a little taken aback by how calm he looked, but I answered anyway. Yes, I think she was asking me to stay away from those who killed her. But she didn't give you any names? No. Are you alright? These are all just speculations. Maybe things went differently for her. Yes, I think I'm fine. It's something I've thought about before, but it's easier to resent her if I think she's still alive. On the other hand, death is the only good excuse for why our mother never contacted us. Not even once. I nodded bitterly in agreement. Sounds like we're not the only ones she left without saying a word. She might have violated some local agreement, too. Most likely, as Mom got some strange plan into her head again, her past caught up with her. So, was she killed out of revenge by those people we met? Maybe. I haven't been able to trust Mom for a long time, and it's hard for me to sympathize with her until I understand exactly what happened. Kieran seemed lost in thought for a little while, trying to understand what I had just said. I didn't know whether his calm expression was just a facade, or if he literally wasn't scared. Maybe he was just putting on a brave face. I decided to change the subject. A negative attitude towards your mother in the past has determined your thoughts in the present. We should invite our friends to eat out, not here. We don't have any food at all. Okay. I didn't actually think either of us was going to start cooking. Come on. We spent the next hour in silence unpacking. At lunchtime, Karen and I went downstairs. But before leaving, I stopped him and asked, "Are you really okay about, well, after everything that's happened with the Dubés?" He shrugged his shoulders in passive. "I don't know, I'm overwhelmed, but at the same time I feel calmer. I never denied the existence of God, but I haven't seen any proof of it either. After learning all this, it's like I got rid of a lot of unnecessary questions. But I got some more too. Now I keep thinking about what the hell is going on up there. No wonder. The younger we are, the faster and easier we are adapt to new circumstances. It was a shock to me, but Karen is taking it much better. I just don't understand how these people have the gall to hurt each other, even in the name of a real deity, and I don't understand what you have to do with it. What are few lives lost compared to the safety of the whole world? Relatively speaking, it is worth more to save 10 lives or a billion. And those 10 will die anyway at some point, along with everyone else. The sect said that this yuga of theirs is still a long way off. The longer we do nothing, the sooner and scarier it'll be. So you're fine with all this? The murders, blood, cult, some goddess? I am, Karen. I know the reasons behind these actions are good, and you should understand that too. He didn't answer. He was clearly confused by my words, but they still made him think. We arrived at the cafe where my colleagues were already waiting for us. I was surprised to see also Gabriel with Killian and Lima. Mr. Grant? I invited him. Ew. I didn't want to sound rude, so I stopped myself from saying more, even though it took me quite some effort. Why did you bring him here, Lima? Karen greeted us, then turned to Gabriel. Hey, you should order the vegetables, but not the fish. I've been here before. I knew you had my back, mate. They exchanged some kind of a special handshake. The three of us looked at them surprised. Apparently they must have become friends during the time they spent together. I'd say hello. I'll smile. Catching Gabriel's eye, I smiled at him. You and Gabriel have a friendly relationship. I invited Gabriel so the four of us could discuss something. Well, okay, the five of us. Karen grinned at her, as usual. Everyone around him couldn't resist her charm, or his charm. After everyone ordered, I dared to speak first. Since Mr. Grant is here, is this a work meeting? I actually just wanted to invite you to see my new place, show you where I was living now. It's funny that you think of me only when it comes to working. Don't get me wrong, it's just at this point I'm here for personal reasons. Dude, we barely know you, I'm gonna be honest. Lima and Killian are helping me because, well, they're some of the best people on the planet, that's why. I like the sound of that, but I am not one to fall for flattery. I am. Keep going. Slow down. Surely that's not why you invited me here. But don't forget this isn't an official work meeting, and you're not in charge. And you're clearly enjoying that. Oh, I'm enjoying it too. There was a round of chuckles, and once our small talk was over, he finally got down to business. Karen quickly realized he was better off not getting involved in the conversation. You and Gabriel get along pretty well, Lima and Killian like that. When our food arrived, he dug into his plate, just silently listening. I'll give it to you straight, I asked Gabriel for help. Not with the investigation, but with what you're doing right now. It was unexpected at first. I didn't even understand what Lima was getting at. Then the pieces of the puzzle fell into place and I grinned. Oh, yes, you have a bone to pick with the Dubés, right? You found out that I'm close to them and decided to try your luck. How clever. Hmm, that's a pretty rough way of putting it. It's a lot more complicated than that. Listen, Amala. Gabriel relaxed back in his chair as our discussion didn't concern him. Basically, we have one common goal, to take on the local elite. Yeah, okay, three of you? But what's your motive? Mine is clear. I want to figure out things because my life has changed dramatically since I came to Calcutta. But you? We all have our motives. Punishing criminals, earning prestige, money, advancing in our careers, and a lot more, considering all that we've seen. Killian continued. Yes, but in the end, it's all about the Dubés. They control Calcutta. The tiger guards of the forest. The forest protects the tiger. They guard their territory, maintaining order. The city returns the favor. That's why the locals cover up for them. And that's why we need Gabriel. We haven't seen each other in a lot lately, and I was thinking about what to do next. I happen to study the local hierarchy. We can't leave without finishing what we started here. The locals are being too arrogant. They've forgotten from those supervision. They were freed not that long ago. I could try to hire some mercenaries to help us even the odds at the right moment. The right moment? Are you talking about the direct confrontation? You surely understand that not everything can be resolved through peaceful means, right? Even if that's all we're allowed to use. The main thing is to know how to deal with the consequences. The end could indeed justify the means. You three should know well what I'm talking about, right? So we gained one respect, and lost one respect randomly out of nowhere. Okay. I still remember how furious the ambassador was when he had to cover your asses. Your attempt to break into the local police archive did not go smoothly, and everyone found out about it. Oh. God, that's been forever ago. But we're talking about murders here. Kieran had been very quiet. He tried not to make a sound while eating, which was a clear sign that he was very nervous. So, you think we should just get rid of them if we get a chance to? One, shameful. Two, only way. Three, the Dark Mother won't let you get away with this. I'm gonna be honest. There's a higher power here. Let's just admit it. The Dubés are a sacred local family. You'll have to pay a very high price for their blood. He doesn't know how to speak words. You were born in England, weren't you? Don't be so quick to think she's crazy, Gabriel. Things are going to become clear in the end. What did the Dubés do to you, Mr. Grant? It's important for me to finish things once I start them. I don't leave investigations unsolved. If a case is challenging, I'm even more eager to crack it. That's when things get interesting. It's also a personal grudge. That Mr. Dubé gave me such a smug look at the festival that he clearly lost all his teeth for it. That sounds very professional. Yep. Also very petty. I am also hoping for a promotion after this Calcutta job. Obviously, this will not happen if I return empty-handed. And there it is. It all comes down to this family, and there's no way to get to them, and you happen to be close to them. I was hoping that together we could be able to deal with the Dubés. We can hold those bastards accountable for what they've done. I held my head in my hands, dejected. Clearly, Gabriel had no idea what he was talking about. I am not going to tell Grant everything I know. Killian and Lemur are one thing, but he's another. If Gabriel learns about Caligore, and Amrit finds out, we'll have another team leader losing his head. You don't have the full picture, Mr. Grant. This family is not only protected by the city and its people. There are also other forces at play. beyond the human grasp. You can take that however you like. He doesn't need to interpret anything. He'll see it for himself if we go back to Kilphagrami. I agree. And there's more than one reason for that. Remember what you told me about the woman you've been living with? About the fact she's always going on about that village? Priyanka seemed to shudder. She shook her head, clearly at a loss for words. There are places you shouldn't go back to. That's why I tried to dissuade you from going to Kilphagrami. And about the locals were discussing that place too. Why did he go all the way there, to the cursed land? He's bringing bad luck on us all. That's what I told him, and he said that those tourists paid him well. They really wanted to see where the fire happened. Oh, what the hell with them? They are asking for trouble. Right, the place seemed creepy, but it's not as scary as everyone says. Or maybe we just didn't see whatever we were supposed to be scared of, so we missed something. Lima took out her notebook where she often scribbled down some notes. Thanks to your analysis, the task force decided to take another look at Kilphagrami. The pages were covered in her scrawled handwriting. I was studying a folder that we found in the police archive. I spent a lot of time translating it, but it was worth it. There's nothing particularly interesting or surprising in there. However, we all leaned forward interested. Yeah, good luck making sense of that. I literally looked at it. I made a list to explain my point more clearly. There's a huge gap. The first victim was in 1957, but the other 5 are in 1980. We've been discussing this, and it caught my eye again. I don't think it makes sense to rely on data we gathered in the past. Much of it turned out to be false anyway. That's not the weird part, Killian. There are many inconsistencies in the files, and some of the records seem to be cut off right as they get to the most interesting part. Some paragraphs seem to have been removed from the descriptions. The real meaning is lost. What are the real meanings? What are you getting at? I think there are more than one murder in Kilphagrami, Amala. I think there were many more. I know, Ratan told me about it, but they all took place a long time ago. If they were all related to the case 20 years ago, that wasn't a long time ago. Kieran dared to add. Maybe something happened in that village, and they wanted to hide the evidence. At least that's what it looks like. My stomach twisted bitterly. I remembered the book written by Murali Patil. My family is from Kilphagrami, but back in those years, they no longer lived there. In 1952, when the primordial Yajna happened, they were living there, in Calcutta. And yet, something bad happened there. I'm pretty sure of it. What exactly did the police try so hard to keep out of Sanji's case file? Kilphagrami is where my ancestors lived. If I'm looking for answers about my family, that's where they might be. And there was definitely something going on there. I think that nothing has changed in that village. There could have been more victims. This isn't connected to the ritual murders. Nothing changed in the village. I'm gonna go with there could have been more victims. Maybe there are not only 6, but 40. 23 years of silence, no murders. I doubt they were just leading a peaceful life. That's what I'm talking about. What the hell happened there? Your assumptions will play a part in the story. Have you walked around everywhere in that place? Did you go into the forest or to the shore? No. You should have seen the village. You can't do much walking around there. What are you talking about, or looking for? The truth. Answers about my family, the leverage over the Dubays. What does your family have to do with this, and what leverage are you trying to find there? You'll see for yourself. I'm sure it won't leave you indifferent. They had to return to the village. There must be a reason why the locals shunned it and were afraid to discuss it. We were back to square one. At least a big advantage is that the Kahans and the Dubés won't find out about this trap. I don't have to report to anyone now. We spent the next half an hour planning how to get there. Killian offered to rent a car and drive himself. It also was decided that we all should go. It could be dangerous in Kilphagrami, but leaving Kieran alone seemed even more of a bad idea. He seemed very happy with this decision. His mood improved, although he still looked a little quiet. Yeah, can we swear him to secrecy? Seriously. On the way back, we all started chatting with each other. So, you're all living alone now. You don't even know your neighbors? And you're our military attaché. Would you like an official to officially guard her? I think Amala's strong enough to call me if she needs me. Why did you ask that, Gabriel? Maybe that's what you want to do. Oh, yes, I'd love that. Protecting a lady makes you feel really nice. Really? What happened to the Gabriel who's annoyed by anything that can distract him from work? Well, technically this would be work, also I wouldn't be there all the time. In other words, he's not looking for anything serious. Dropping by once or twice a week to relax a little and that's it. Although, sometimes I want to say no to releasing some tension. Ha! I see what you did there. Really? Really? 52 for Gabriel, who we don't know, to come relieve our tension. Stay silent. Of course not. I don't know him well enough to do that. I'm flattered, but I prefer to rely on my brother. I want to think about how you phrase that. Really? I nudged him discreetly. He coughed, nodding vigorously. Yes, of course, I'll help. Once we arrived at the house, we said goodbye, but not for long. We planned to soon return to Kilphagrami as a new, larger group. I could already tell that our trip was going to be unforgettable. Raton must have seen this and must know everything, but he doesn't seem like someone who is entirely on the side of the Dubés. He and Amrit seem to have some sort of agreement between them, yet I don't see the point in trying to hide anything from him. Let's wait and see how things turn out. I'll give you a 4 out of 5. I mean, we still gained 4 respect, which is fine. So 1 to independence, 1 to loyalty, 4 to respect, 0 to rage, 2 to kindness. Assuming we're doing good with the kindness. Hold on, I see diamonds. Alright, so hopefully you all did enjoy. As you can see, we're ready for episode 6 out of 15. I don't know if this is the final season. Let me know in the comments section below if it is. I don't know if there's any like follow-up books or whatnot to this. I do know there is a prequel, if I'm not mistaken, to this. But everyone told me that, you know, you should probably finish the one. It was the Kali something. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. There it is. Kali Flame of Samsara. People told me this is like a prequel, so, you know, let me know if that's correct. I haven't seen any other Kali ones, I don't believe. But again, let me know in the comment section, because there is quite a few books here. And then I also know that there are some new ones that have come out and whatnot. But yeah. Aside from that, I don't know if you guys are aware, there are some issues, and I'll just keep this short. There is some issues with this app. Yeah, it's like a whole video in and of itself I could do, but I'm hoping everything's okay at the, you know, with the app and the company and whatnot. Like I said, maybe it's something I could talk about and cover sometime, and, you know, get off my chest a little opinion nugget off of that, and something that I don't think people are going to see coming. Perhaps I might do, but with that being said, once again, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe, and especially if you want more of this content. And then also let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want more, especially if you want to help support, do diamonds or even other content, or just support this channel in general for the work that I do, that literally out of every single 80 million content creators on this platform and 8 billion people in the world, that I am literally and figuratively the only person that, one, narrates and reads a story, and two, literally does a little bit of voicing for you guys. If you do and want to show appreciation for that, hey, there's some things down there. There's the join, there's the thanks features, etc., and it would be greatly appreciated. Because yeah, this book is, well, this app is, it's pretty pricey in terms of diamonds and whatnot. So, and then also it's my time, effort, and whatnot. So, please reward me for that if you do appreciate my work. Other than that, catch you all later. Peace out.